Well, let's see, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, hearing none, ayes have it. So,
Let's move on.
our next item, I have to, Chair recognizes the,
Gotcha.
treasurer.
I don't have a mic, but I was requesting to add a discussion item of the treasurer's report.
Well, that'd be fine. Yeah, that should be fine. Is that right, Council? Yeah. Okay, we can add that,
That's me right there.
at 6A, after bills for payment,
If you want to text.
that's 6A. Of course, if there are any objections, say so, but all who are in favor signify by saying aye. Those- Does it pertain to the treasurer's report and whether we're going to put it on the agenda or not? Okay. Those opposed? Hearing none, ayes have it. Treasurer's report and 6A. Okay, that's the second word.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to motion to add a discussion item regarding the board, what the current status of that particular board is, where those residents stand. I'd like to know overall what our next steps for residents, what like happened since, the last meeting on Monday, June 30th.
So saying that, that particular issue is under the control of the mayor and city staff, I will refer back to what I had said before. But we're not gonna continue to add items for people who want to ask questions. If you want to ask a question of this, administration, if you have questions about what we're doing, I've said before that you need to submit those in writing to the city and we will respond in kind. Okay? If you have those questions, we will submit those, you need to submit those to the city, specifically to the mayor's office, and we will respond in kind. Okay, I don't know how many times I gotta say it, but I find myself saying it again. So, the chair recognizes the fourth ward.
Yeah, Mayor, I understand the procedures, but it was, very imperative that I know how to conduct myself. I was embarrassed being put out of the council meeting, and I needed information to know how to proceed tonight, what the do's and don'ts and the ramifications and everything. So I will make that mistake again.
Okay, well, once again, you tried to make it, from my understanding, an appointment with the mayor's office. We did grant an appointment, and then you canceled that appointment. So, you can always reschedule, and we can have that conversation again. All right?
Go ahead, Commissioner Mayor.
Chair recognizes the second ward.
I'd like to ask the attorney if you could just further expand upon, if I don't send it in email, whatever my request is when I ask from the council floor, what's exactly prohibited from me asking? Because as the mayor mentioned, regarding my previous request, where exactly we stand, with the building on 145th and Halsted. That's my question, my point of information to ask, what the status is. So being that I did not email, I wasn't a part of full meeting on Monday, January 8th. So I asked today, because I wasn't a part of that meeting, where exactly we stand, and I'm not certain if the mayor addressed what our next steps are, what our going to be on those incidents. But where exactly do I stand with wanting to ask those questions? Thank you.
Sure, so at the city council meeting, this is a time when the city council has to take action on different things, right? So you as the legislator are entitled to be prepared to come to the meetings and vote on different legislative matters. You have a mayor that has a very open door policy, so if you have questions about the status of things, you can call the administration, you can ask the mayor. So at the council meetings, we're not supposed to be just kind of just talking about anything in the city. action items here. So if your question is like, if you wanna know what the status is with those buildings going on, you have the ability to ask the city administrator or the mayor prior to the council meetings. And I think that's just the point you had for Alderman Keys also, right?
Yes.
Does that answer your question?
So is it not permitted to ask now?
Not really, because this is supposed to be focused on on the agenda items that are here.
So when a motion is provided and then the second occurs, as just we did, follow the parliamentary procedures to add a discussion item, I guess that, what are the ramifications, like Alderman mentioned earlier, that allow or don't allow me to inquire about specifics, on the council floor?
I guess
You don't know.
no, I know, I just answered the question, she just repeated the same question, so I'm trying to think of a different way to answer the question in another way, so the answer's clear. So this is a legislative body, just like the Illinois General Assembly, and when they meet, they have action items. That doesn't mean that if a state representative has a question, he can stop the General Assembly and say, hey, what is going on with the Capitol building floor repair problem that we have, or whatever. I mean, that's not how a legislative body works. And this is a very transparent government that's trying to afford citizens the ability to meet with the mayor, answer questions, keep things kind of moving forward for the city, and there are processes to do that. But it's not usually, it's not like, okay, let's just have a forum and talk. This is not where everyone's discussing everything in the city of Harvey. So I don't know if you're feeling like if you were coming here and saying, hey, I called the mayor's office and he wouldn't answer the question, I called the city administrator and she wouldn't answer me, and how do I handle that? That would be a different question. But otherwise, there are legislative actions that you all have to vote on tonight, right?
And I do intend to participate in that motion, but when I looked at the old business, I didn't see that, and so I thought to add it as a discussion item or second the motion on behalf of the fourth ward alderman to address it, as I wasn't a part of the entirety of the meeting. Now, I do agree that emailing does work, but knowing that I first needed to know is one of the discussion items that Alderman Key requested about the removal via police escort. I just found out about that, I think maybe 27 minutes before the actual meeting started. And you and I talked as well, but it was very briefly, so we didn't take a deep dive into what exactly occurred. Because I didn't have an opportunity to review that, I first wanted to have that as a landing pad to my next question regarding, the other necessary discussion items as I just was mentioning. So that's the way in which I saw for in a chronological order to address the concern, but not knowing where I stood with that, I didn't know to continue to discuss or, what was in violation of what was not. So that's why I'm asking now here for the floor, and I think that also provides a learning curve for myself as well as the rest of the alderpersons, as well as the constituency, so I can know how to best address, because I certainly would not ever want for the rest of these 3.5 years for Monday, January 8th to occur for myself, the elected body, or the constituency.
Well, the mayor's already indicated that he will allow for alderman reports and comments today, even though they were omitted from the meeting as 8A. So maybe at that point, if there's comments or questions that you have, that would be the point of this agenda to handle that.
And I would like to point out that I emailed the mayor's office to request that alderman comments go on the agenda, and that was answered. So we do have some communication going on there. There was no further address of the rest of the items. So just trying to, I guess my high level question, Attorney Craft, I apologize, I'm mispronouncing. But I want to know my do's and don'ts in this capacity, when I'm asking regarding an open discussion that I think is pretty intense and needed for the city.
Well, I'll briefly respond to what happened at the meeting. I watched the tape, I wasn't there. And the mayor did solicit comments from all of the aldermen on the issue. Alderman Rogers was speaking, and then I believe that the mayor made a comment, and then Alderman started speaking again. And that's, I think, where the problem occurred.
You're not
Because
telling the
he
truth,
was
cause
trying
she
to call
spoke
the
about,
meeting to
you
order.
spoke about.
Would you please don't, please do not do that, sir.
You mentioned their
Would
name.
you
She's not
please
telling the
not do
whole
that,
story,
sir?
ma'am. She's not telling the whole story.
Well, I watched the video.
You mentioned, the mayor mentioned them
Would
too.
you please
All of their
not,
names.
you are, sir, once again,
Yes, sir.
let us all please keep.
But let her tell the truth, you a
That we
Christian,
have,
right?
look, and you have an opportunity under public comment, should you properly follow the rules as far as that's concerned?
What's the rule?
To go ahead and address it at that particular point in time.
Okay.
Okay, so, once again, please, I don't want us to become a mockery because it seems like we don't have the same order that we should have. We've come a long way, from the way it used to be at one point in time. I'd like for us to continue to do that. I've said before, yeah, we may disagree, but we're all Harvey. We're still family. And we're not gonna sit up here and just continue to behave this way. Now, one of the things that I am responsible for is for the efficient, of this meeting. And I am gonna take the actions necessary to do so. So if you are finished with what you're saying, Attorney, I'm gonna move forward.
May I say one thing?
Yes.
Okay, so under Robert's Rules of Order, which are the rules that govern, it basically says that the aldermen, when recognized by the mayor, have the right to speak on a topic, and they can speak on the topic 2 times when recognized. And what happened as it was going around is people started interrupting without being recognized by the chair. The mayor was trying to call the meeting back to order, and people weren't listening to the mayor at that point. So I think if you have questions and the mayor recognizes you, that would be the process for doing that, and that would result in you not being removed from meetings. It was just out of order, and he mentioned that, I think, like 6 times before, asking people to leave.
If I may, just because you did just respond to that, if I may just ask another brief question.
I'm sorry. We need to move on. We do need to move on. If you would like to continue to ask these questions, or if you would like to, once again, address these issues at another time, you're more than welcome to come to the mayor's office. You're more than welcome to schedule a meeting with, Corporation Council. But we need to move on and get to the business of the city. That is what we need to do. And unless somebody else, has an objection to us moving forward and taking care of the business, which we're elected to do right now, those questions are not relevant to what we're supposed to be doing here at this particular meeting. So, we still haven't made it to number 3, which is permanent. I like the most one, is invocation and pledge of allegiance. So, if the 6th Ward Alderman would be so kind.
Thank you.
We bow heads for prayer. Jesus wept. Amen.
Amen. Heard from the committee chair, the finance committee, that there was no committee meeting held today.
That's right.
So, just what you have to say.
I know you said all in favor, and I did not say aye for the approval of this.
You want to take that vote? Okay, let's go back to approval of minutes January 2024. Alright, all I heard, let's do it again. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, one opposed, second opposed, and abstention. We have 3 ayes. Motion carries. Thank you. So back to item 6, bills for payment January 8th, 2024. The committee chair has indicated that there was no meeting taking place. And so therefore, unless there's an objection, we will skip bills for payment and deal with it on our next meeting. Next item is 6A, treasurer report. Chair recognizes the treasurer.
addition to that, there have been things that have not been, collaborated between myself, and the comptroller and the mayor's office, as far as to present a complete and accurate treasurer's report. So I just pretty much want to let the people know that, it is something that is not just being overlooked. I've been requesting and asking, and, it has also been, I guess, brought to the mayor's attention because of you guys steady coming to the, and making comments, coming to the meetings and making comments. So it's on the radar now, and I just wanted to appreciate the people who did come and make comments, so it's being looked into.
So, next item on the agenda is ordinances and resolutions for the city of Harvey. 7A, old business, none. 7B, new business, an ordinance regarding city licenses and other privileges.
Point of information here.
Chair recognizes the second ward.
Thank you, Mayor. Specific to this business or this ordinance, as I understand it, the privileges and the licensures that businesses will not be able to occupy a space or as a tenant if there are any bills or past due, anything past due to the city, I'm assuming to the county, is that correct, Mayor?
It's if there is, well, first of all, I was gonna read this thing kind of explaining the ordinance anyway.
Okay.
So, but, you know, you've already asked a question, so purpose of this ordinance is to, first of all, the city already approved, okay, an ordinance similar to this prior. What happened is when we started to try to implement this particular ordinance, there were some issues as far as whether the issue applied to the property owner or whether the issue applied to the business. And so that's what actually brought this up, and we need to tighten this up. What it does is it basically says that if there is a business or a commercial property owner that owns a fee, a fine, that owes real estate taxes, in which the city, of course, receives a portion, not only the city, but also the park districts, the library districts, and many other districts throughout our municipality receive. If they have not paid their taxes, then they cannot receive, in this particular case, a permit, a license, and other, let me make sure I be specific. Yeah, and other privileges that they would normally be able to receive if they have not paid what they're supposed to pay in the form of fees, fines, or real estate taxes to the city. So that's what this ordinance does. And it helps to establish that. We've already passed this in ordinance. This is just tightening up that language.
I have two more questions for you, Mayor.
Okay, these are not going to remember I've said it before. If you have questions, that was the statement that I was going to read. If you have questions, you need to submit those questions in writing. We give out the package in advance to give all the persons an opportunity to ask questions and submit those questions in writing. That's the whole point. We used to get our packets on Fridays.
We still do, in some cases, but I call for a point of information, so when calling for a point of information.
What is your point of information?
Thank you, well, you answered
Yes.
one of them, so
Yes.
thank you for that. Does this ordinance apply to previously established businesses, or is this for new businesses upon the passage of this ordinance on today?
It's for all businesses.
So it's fresh, right?
Well, it's all businesses in the city. and our business license is annual.
Well, currently, some businesses would not align with this particular verbiage. There are businesses here, you put out within a newsletter that specifies specific businesses who owe, but I believe it's the landlords or the folks who own the land who actually owe the city. The businesses, however, are being held accountable for what that landowner may owe. So that's why I'm asking, is this effective for, as mentioned, does this ordinance apply to previously established businesses? Or is this for new businesses upon the passage of this ordinance? Because if so, how are we going about notifying, those businesses who likely will not have aligned to this specific ordinance or will be passing?
Valid question.
So first of all, as far as our ordinances are concerned, our ordinances are published by the clerk. Okay, and just like any other law throughout the nation, whether in the state of Illinois, the county of Cook, or in our federal government, it is also our responsibility to find out what those laws are. There are laws that have been changed in the state of Illinois that took effect in 2024. Maybe there are some people who do know what those laws are, maybe some people don't. But you can't just say that your ignorance of that law is your excuse for not following that law. So, as far as this is concerned, in answer to your question, as far as information is concerned, I still don't agree with it, but I'm gonna go ahead and answer it anyway. And that is that, yes, it will apply to all businesses. And one of the reasons, and I'll give you the reasonings for that. When the property owners were saying, when the business was saying that they were the property owners, and when the business was saying they were not the property owners, but the property owners are the ones who own the property, so therefore the property owner owes the taxes. It is not fair to the city of Harvey to allow that property owner to continue to collect rents from their businesses, but at the same time, not pay their fines, their fees, and their taxes that benefits the residents of the city of Harvey. So that's what this is about. Once again, we've already passed a similar ordinance, and it's just tightening up the language to make sure it takes care of that.
Thank you, Mayor. My very last question, it says in section 5, the effective date reads publication in pamphlet form.
Yes.
I'd just like to know where that can be found in pamphlet.
It's gonna be found anywhere yet, it has to be paid, it has not been passed.
And when it does,
It'll be in pamphlet form. You can come up here and get it, you can also,
is that at your office or which one?
you can come here to City Hall and receive it if you would like. You can also get a copy from the clerk's office.
Thank you for clarifying.
Okay? Sheriff Hughes is the first ward.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I just wanted to mention in this ordinance, it also indicates, if I'm correct in reading it, that they would have an opportunity, if denied of said license, an opportunity to appeal the process.
Yes, yes. This is not to deny anybody of any of their rights under the law, once again, but we as a home of the community have a right to set our standards for how we want to do business in our city. Sheriff Hughes is the fourth ward.
Thank you, Mayor. I have just one question. When it comes to tenants, for example, on 148th and Dixie Highway, there's a plaza right there. And I know it's been an issue with taxes being paid. If they're tenants and they're just renting their business, are they gonna be impacted with their business license?
Yes. If the
But if they're renters, you're saying, so the stores that don't pay taxes and they just rent, if it's taxes owed on the building, you can deny them a business license?
yes.
Isn't they gonna run every business out if they don't pay the taxes?
If the landowner is not paying the taxes to the city, then once again, we're not gonna allow them to benefit. So basically, what I'm seeing is a situation where a person can purchase property, never pay the taxes. They can continue to rent that property to someone else, collect all the money, never pay the taxes, and still be allowed to continue to do so in perpetuity. That is what we're trying to avoid. And we're trying to avoid that because, once again, I've stated it before, the city of Harvey only collects 52% of its property taxes. And many of those property taxes belong to businesses. I sat here one day and I read a long list, and I can do it again if you want me to, a long list of businesses who owe property taxes to the city of Harvey. And not property taxes as in 1 year or 2 years. These are property owners, these are commercial property owners that owe property taxes 15, 20 years in delinquency. They have not paid their taxes for 15 to 20 years. So we are trying to do something about that. They've already benefited enough by being allowed to stay in our community without paying their taxes. And so at this particular point, we just want to make sure that that's done.
Okay. Just for clarification, you said General Dollar, the store that's on 148 for DC Highway, if the landlord that owns the building doesn't pay the taxes, General Dollar's gonna have to close?
We've actually, in that particular case, the city of Harvey has already, and the council voted and approved to no cash bid that property. So if they don't pay their taxes through the county, then eventually, at some point in time, the city of Harvey will become the owners of that property. And then we can discuss with either, Dollar General, Dollar General, or whomever the, residents are, renters are. Or we can look for another investor that can invest money into that particular piece of property and pay the taxes. So that's what this is about. Okay?
Okay, I just wanna ask the council, is there any type of legal ramifications for running a business out, especially with the time and the people that's renting the place, they not aware of this ordinance that's we're trying to pass, and for them to have to pay taxes, they don't even know what to even pay, they don't pay taxes. So I'm saying, is there any legal ramifications where if they have a business, and is this the business where they building and adding on and making enhancements to the property, for them to just lose their license because of that, they can't take no legal action against the city for that?
No, but I think that what we would hope is that they would put pressure on the landlord too, to get the landlord to pay taxes. But that, they can't come back to the city and sue the city over the law. That's crazy.
I was asking because we're voting to pass it through. So I was saying, we'd be liable for anything.
Good question.
Having heard,
Motion to approve item B1, an ordinance regarding city of Harvey license and other privileges.
Second.
motion by the fifth, second by the first. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Alderman Randall Love,
Aye.
Alderman Key,
No.
Alderman Rogers,
Yes.
Alderwoman Chapman. No. Alderwoman Smith,
Yes.
Alderman Dorsey. Motion carried, and that's ordinance 3484.
Do not engage in conversation with the public. Questions and concerns about operations should be
Or we started a while back when we had it. Why so many city phone lines are busy and you can't get in? Why you're being warned by the police department, fire department, or the state? Why suggest we do a two-phone system? You call in, if you don't get it, you have a central person that answers that phone and takes what you say for some purpose. I had an emergency about that, and I couldn't get through at all. Suggestions, a notice requiring a signed permit verifying occupancy before boarding up. If somebody's gonna board up, you gotta make sure that the fire department, the police department, and everybody else checks that thing before anybody moves into that property. And if anybody moves into that property, there should be a fine for the person to put the nail in the wall. Suggest $1,000 allowed for people who are trying to get a house. We heard of that program and it's disappeared, it's not come back, where people can come in and buy a house. Where are those houses and why isn't it being advertised now? Why we don't have anything about it? All of these properties that the city owns and nobody knows about it. You realize the fire department, the police department, and everybody else are not getting their money because of that? You realize in my neighborhood right now, because of the way things been going, I've lost 4 good neighbors. 4 tax-paying people are going. Not only that, there's no control in watching the landlords and what they're doing. I say if you got a person, a landlord, collecting rent, he ain't paying his taxes, well then give the rent to the city. Make an ordinance for that. I say another thing, housing, no rent, no taxes, nobody living there, they move out, that's what it is. Why is the treasury report not being given? I got the answer for that. But what in the world is going on? Why in the world we can't get a treasury report after the election? What is going on? Where's our money going and who's doing anything about it?
Right.
We have to watch that.
Right.
Attorney, you watch this because guess what? Somebody's going to have their thumb on this city of Harvey and somebody might be going to jail. Another thing, we have more
Right.
policemen in here than I've seen and I called on my block in the past 2 weeks. I got 1, 2, 3,
Right.
4, 5, 6, 7, and I got a chief too. And
Come
why
on.
is that? Why can't you get one when I call? Why is it we having all these problems? And why is it? Yes, I'm hollering like I'm preaching because I'm mad as hell. Because I'm telling you right now, we can't keep this going on, and we're not going to keep it going on. You say no political talk, but I guarantee you can see my name set on a piece of paper. Because it's not going to be in a piece of paper where it does here. 145, 13 Halston, 146, 13 Halston. 129 and 295 Sibley, where the other person's political pictures still displayed high and mighty on this piece of junk property with burnout stuff and all of that, and kids going through all that. Thank you very much. How many minutes I got?
30 seconds.
30 seconds there. Because I'm going to tell you, this city ain't going to put up with it. No. I'm not going to put it. I didn't go fight for my country and come back and find out I got a mess. This is not a police state. This is citizens voting for their rights and citizens wanting enough information. I want to know where's the money.
All right. Woo!
Next person is Leonard Steve Turner, followed by Missouri Curry.
All right. Yes.
Good evening, Mayor Clark. I come to speak on uplifting Harvey, because we gotta move forward, and I think it's a great opportunity for this community with the transportation. We got the largest transportation with pace out of the Cook County area that disperse people get here and there, back and forth. But our administration, I know everybody moving forward. Let's move forward, not move all the stuff that's the last meeting was kind of a little ugly, but we can move forward and gain some respect for everybody in this council. But speaking on how you doing our organization, we have people in my organization that haven't paid bills, haven't paid dues, and they've been 2 or 3 years behind. We got trying to get them to come aboard. You know, they're on the payroll as far as getting health insurance, things like that. But if you're not, if you're just walking along getting a paycheck, and you ain't doing nobody doing it. But now the national Washington is helping us to deal with these situations from Washington D.C., which is good. They just stepped up, and we still do. I'm a union man, and we trying to get a contract. But there's a lot of other stuff with the contract that we've been waiting for almost a year, and we haven't got it settled yet. But if we go arbitration, I think we're gonna be lucky out, because we always win on arbitration. And with that, Mayor Clark, when you see the Harvey, we can move forward and gain. I just want us to look at uplifting Harvey, not looking at the negative and move forward.
Thank you. Next one is Missouri Curry, followed by Ryan Wilson.
Hello, everybody. My name is Missouri Urban. I'm a former trustee of the Harvey Public Library from 2015 to 2021. And I'm here to discuss the general climate of City Council. What I've observed is scare tactics to manipulate and control elected officials and appointed officials. For the last 6 months, I have watched the mayor practice a misogynistic type of attitude towards the second ward alderman. And any question that she asks, he's upset. What is this? You know, the elected officials are here to represent us, okay? And the reason why they're elected is so they can't be thrown out of meetings, and they can't be abused, and they can't be relieved from the job. And that's very important.
Can we get some order, please? Not you, Mr. Irvin.
And that's okay, they can talk, that don't matter. So, something's gotta
Please don't do
change.
that.
Something's gotta change. This thing that's going on in the city council where religion is being abused, I find that very offensive. Okay, I'm a Christian, but what's being done with religion here is all wrong. The mayor does something which is totally out of order, and then he turns around and starts preaching to everybody. I didn't come here for that. Just like you said, we're here to conserve time and to take care of business. I didn't come here to hear you talk about God if you've done something bad. And Carrie, I'm surprised that you would say what you said. when he called out the 2nd Ward and the 4th Ward aldermen and said that they were the only two that were concerned about what happened. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You're a woman too, Carrie Lynn. I would have hoped that you would have answered that question a little bit better than what you did, but then I understand that you have appointed positions. And when we have appointed positions, we gotta bow down. So, to all the residents here, we don't deserve what's going on. It's gotta be a better way of doing this. Everybody needs to be heard. And let me take you all back down memory lane. At one time, we had the Cook County Police here to observe our meetings because stuff like this that happened at the last meeting was going on, and they can be brought back again. Thank you.
Next up is Wayne Rusty.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Ryan Cybulski. I'm here on behalf of the Harvey Historical Society. Actually, I have my Pullman Tech shirt on. They teach folks the trades, mostly in preserving buildings. I'd love to have a school like that in Harvey. Just a little quick, thing. I thought that was pretty neat. I just wanted to agree with some of the folks that shared. Definitely, I think we all want to see the city go in a different direction. It's just so many people contacted me the past 2 weeks, and said basically what the hell is going on in Harvey. Like, why are we seeing him on the news like this? With people being boarded up in their apartments, and the dead body found in Ascension. So, I mean, I'm very concerned, and I'm on behalf of our organization and many others, just forwarding those concerns and really begging, pleading with the mayor and the city council to let's turn things around. Again, aldermen, you have more votes. You don't have to just vote yes. When the mayor asks you to do something, you shouldn't. That's not serving your citizens. That's something personal. Whether you disagree or agree with the mayor or what he's proposing, that's just being a good advocate for your residents. I do have to say, I was baptized at Ascension. I know a lot of people, were married, died, went to school at Ascension. You've seen on social media, there was a body found, a dead body before Christmas. We weren't notified about it from the city. I have requested a police blotter many times the past few years, but unfortunately we're never told when crimes are happening or even basic information. So we've also been seeing people going in and out of the church. There was a fire that occurred just a few doors down from the church. So my concern is the city owns that property. Why don't we get that secured, guys? Let's why are we letting people wander in and out? The mayor himself accosted me this past summer. I was just taking pictures from the sidewalk for the historic buildings across the street, and he stopped in his motorcade personally and said, "What are you doing? You got to get away from those buildings, Ryan. We're responsible for people's safety. We own that. We wouldn't want anything to happen to you." But yet we have people going in and out. Who knows? Maybe they're going to start fires. Maybe they're doing drugs. There's prostitution. I don't know what's going on in Ascension Church. But we have some former Ascension members here today. They can tell you those buildings are in good shape. So whatever happened after the church sold to the city is now that's on you guys. So I also wanted to share. I don't know if people knew the historic significance. That is one of the first major Catholic churches in the area that was racially integrated. So it's not just a beautiful piece of architecture and history, but I would think that would also be an important value to our community since we want to be a diverse area. So thank you for listening, and hope to see some good changes. Thank you.
I'm kind of discouraged with some of the things that we are among ourselves, hurting ourselves. I think some things could be stopped if we just stop being selfish about some of the things we're doing and start thinking about everybody that you are affecting. Some decisions that you're making, for example, this ordinance about the taxes. If you close the stores, this is just me, common sense to me, is that you get nothing. So now you're gonna have a city with a lot of nothing. There should be a better way.
True.
As far as I'm concerned, but you're supposed to be our leaders, and I wish you would take your position seriously in uplifting and bringing us out of this dissension state we seem to be in. I was concerned about the treasurer's report as well, because I've seen the treasurer be discouraged because she can't do the report correctly.
and she refuses to sign things that she can't really give credit for doing. You know, she's handed a report, but she can't verify it. She is a numbers person. She likes the numbers to work. And if you don't give her what the money's being spent on, and all the money that's coming in, you're just giving her pieces, then she can't verify it, so her hands are being tied. And she's gotten very frustrated, and this is the second term, and she's still getting the same hard troubles with it. So I'm hoping that improves, and maybe if you're as transparent as you claim, and it won't be that problem anymore. Amen. Thank you. All right.
Next on the list is Bill Brooks.
All right.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Good, good.
The last meeting. So, but I did see the recap and everything, and I just was very embarrassed and disgusted what I saw. To put two older persons out that speak for constituents is like putting out 200 and some people out of the meeting, because
Right.
now they have no voice.
Right.
And I think that's wrong, because since you like to go back sometimes, let's go back to when you were in office.
Come on now.
Kellogg never put y'all out, no matter how flip your mouth was, no matter how y'all stood up to them and argued, and never. Y'all didn't get put out.
That's right.
I never seen it. And I know I was coming to him in 2015, I never seen it. But who puts you out when you talk slick, Mr. Mayor? Because I've seen you do it. Oh, that's why I'm the mayor, you're not. No, nobody wants you out here. Nobody wants you out. And then you didn't tell Rogers to go, and he was yelling.
Rogers always yelling.
He was hurt. I mean, it was good. I mean, he didn't get walked out of here. And they got walked out because you picked on them. You bullied them at this meeting. So where's the rules and ordinances for that? And again, no treasurer's report. Nobody knows where the money's going.
Right.
But that was your biggest thing when you was in office. Where the money going, Kellogg?
Ooh.
You called every Cook County sheriff, all that. And evidently, you don't need to be an older person, because everything is funny. You've been laughing since the beginning of the thing. I mean, it's funny. It's really hilarious to you. Maybe you need to be in comedy, because this ain't shit. It don't make no sense. I mean, I don't see, you're not taking this serious. People's livelihoods are being damaged and destroyed, and you laugh. You laugh.
She's right.
And then, man, you allowing this. Her to be sitting up there laughing, thinking that this is fun. This is a joke. People getting boarded up in their apartments. People sitting up here getting killed. Dying on the street, spitting all overdoses, but dead bodies in churches, and y'all laugh. Walk out of here.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is automatic comments. The chair recognizes the fourth ward.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to appreciate and thank everybody that came out tonight and all the comments. These are some serious comments, and they only come from the heart. So I hope we just take heed to that and realize that the power that we have, everybody sitting at this council. I have a passion for the city, and I have a duty. I was raised by a good family. My kids got out of here, and I can't get my kids to come back unless I'm sick or on my deathbed, because they don't see nothing in Harvey. And I'm sitting out here doing the best I can to make a difference for the people, because I got people counting on me. So I want to ask for forgiveness if I was ever unruly or out of contact, but I got spirits inside of me. I got people that have been living here in Harvey that passed that never saw the day coming when things were back together, you know. And like I said, it's my duty to do that. So when I asked for clarification, I felt that it was imperative that we speak on this topic so I know what to do and what not to do to not get kicked out of a meeting again, because that was embarrassing. So I guess everybody voted, and I ain't gonna say nothing about how nobody vote, but I guess it wasn't important, but you know, it was only 2 of us kicked out. But we all supposed to be a team, you know, so I just wanted, the issues that I had, Mayor, was when you called, you said I had a meeting with you and I canceled. First of all, this wasn't the mayor's conversation that I need to talk to you. I needed to talk to legal counsel, okay? Second of all, Mrs. Davis, Ramona called me when I called a week ago to make the appointment. She called me Wednesday morning around 9 something and said, can I come in at 11? I said, no, I can't come in on the same day. How you gonna make an appointment for me and tell me to come in the same day and then say I canceled? You know, those are the things, but the question that I need the answers for is for the legal counsel, whether she answered them or not. I just want the residents to know. Sorry, I gotta go. These questions that I was asking, it's asking the question grounds for removal by the mayor. Number 2, what recourse do aldermen have when the mayor illegally puts them out of city council? Number 3, please advise with the legal, ethical, and written the parameters of an automatic duty as it relates to speaking at a council meeting. Number 4, please provide a legal and written opinion as it relates to the actions of mayor removing an alderman out of the meeting. And number 5, please outline what point at a meeting can an elected person raise a concern as it relates to ward concerns and concerns of the city at a regular scheduled meeting. So these are the questions that I asked, and I'm just trying to prevent myself, but I'm still gonna stay here, I'm still gonna fight. Next time I get put out of the meeting, you have to drag me out of here.
All right.
Thank you.
If I may ask you, is there a particular way that this is supposed to go in order? Is there a reason why it goes not 1 through 6, but 4, then 2?
Right.
the
Good
ladder
question.
of-
I just go bing, 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 just like that. That's all. And it means it going another way, another time.
This is the pro temp. I think the chief would go.
Would you like to be heard?
You and I both know that.
Thank you.
It's nice to be as comical as it's been, or to be a laughing matter. This is very serious discussion that we're very serious things about freedom of speech. And I read what the Constitution says. Freedom of speech is the right of a person to articulate the opinions and ideas without interference or retaliation from the government. From the government.
That's right.
And as I went through the many steps to speak with the government since Monday, January 8th, everyone from Brad Cole, the Illinois Municipal League Executive Director, Leah Bartlett, the Public Access Counselor at the Attorney General's Office, and the Department of the Inspector General, who I'm very aware that both you, Shirley, first were alderwoman, you previous third were alderman Clark, previous second ward alderman Joseph Whittington, previous fourth ward alderman Lamont Brown are very privy to. So we have very long and depth conversations, myself, Mr. Lyles, the criminal investigator for the Inspector General's office. Then I took a trip down to Markham Courthouse, and then I spoke with the Sheriff's Department. And I told them how I felt intimidated and feared as a woman to be removed from the city council meeting, that what would happen if I spoke again? Would I be escorted out? Could the attorney provide some validity as they stated that that would happen, as I didn't receive anything from Daniel Bolton, the attorney that was present on that evening? I then reached out to Ms. Lynn, who we had a very brief conversation that I spoke about earlier in our conversation here on the council floor. I sent an email on Tuesday, January the 16th at 6:49 p.m. and today on Monday, January the 22nd at 6:21, I received a response. I have yet to even retract or could give you all any validity to what exactly it details, because I just received it 39 minutes shy of the hour of our council meeting, at 7 p.m. So since that time, I've been in a wonderance as to how exactly do I move forward to lead the constituency of the 2nd Ward in the city of Harvey. But know that I am not afraid. And as we talk about God in this space, I want you to know that he said that the righteous shall never be forsaken. He said, do my prophet no harm. And faith without works is dead. So when I look around at our legislative branch, our 6, just remember Alderperson Shirley, Talani, Dominique, and Tyrone. We need you. We need your support tonight when we simply wanted to add a discussion item. That was the new business and or old business. That was to handle some unfinished business because we were escorted out right at 7:48 p.m., 12 minutes shy of the 8 o'clock hour without an opportunity to raise voice or say our concerns as to what exactly happened when I called for a point of order, when it was not recognized, which caused me to become a bit unruly and say, no, point of order again, point of privilege. Anytime point of order or point of privilege are called, constituency know that you have the ability, I have the ability to speak. And I certainly won't be muzzled, not today, tomorrow, or any day, because on the passing, and as we celebrate Martin Luther King Jr., he said, as we highlight him and his heroism, he said, remember, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
That's right.
I remember when I was going underneath 2nd Ward Alderman, our previous Alderman, Joseph Whittington, he said, I want what's good for America to be good for the city of Harvey. And when I took this seat and I earned those 600 plus votes, that's what I came here to do. I didn't come here to be on the backside and say to Laney, why are you laughing? Or Shirley, why wouldn't you, as I have come underneath you specifically, your tutelage, you and Mayor Clark, as I once was a part of the unity team, it was the 2nd Ward picked by Mayor Christopher J. Clark. I become bombarded with the thought, how could this be that those same people who said I was gonna be the one of the greatest to ever do this, would then be the same people that wouldn't allow me to speak this evening and have an open discussion item about how I was removed as a woman of color, the first woman of color since 1891 in this city, to be removed. But I did it with poise, and I do it with grace, and I'll continue to do that. Because I want young men like Harper Anthony sitting here, who's world renowned, to know that you must allow the freedom bells to ring, that no matter what, you must stand up, be courageous enough to speak out, tell the truth. Because you have to proactively provoke your passion in anything you do. That's how you keep your peace, real positive. And I intend to do that every chance that I get. On the 4th, as y'all know, we meet 2nd and the 4th, but on that 2nd meeting, I intend to give you this aldermanic energy, this announcement every time. I thank some of you all who came out to our previous 2nd Ward meeting that we just had, that we host every 3rd Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 15446 South Lexington, a place that's just not for the 2nd Ward, but for 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And don't you ever forget, 708-320-9214 is where you can always find me. Press 1, say your name, and you coming through. But I assure you, City of Harvey, I will continue to edify your voices. Because it's not my movement, it's not y'all movement, it's the people's movement. And I stand 10 toes down and 1 up, like the late Dr. my auntie, the late Dr. Joyce Ann Chapman said. She says, always remember intentional engagement. Intend to do good. If it ain't good enough for you, it ain't good enough for the gander. So I take that every time I get in this seat, and I ask a lot of questions, and I'm inquisitive. It's for a reason. It's because I want you all to know. Because you could teach a man to fish or feed a man to fish, but if you teach that man how to fish, that's for a lifetime. I'm trying to create lifetime things, legacy leaders. At the tender age of 36, drumming up all of this, but I'm drumming up good trouble. Y'all remember what Congressman John Lewis said? He said, good trouble. It's good trouble. And I don't intend to be in discourse with our children, our 1, 3, 5, and 6, because they vote differently, that's their prerogative. That's how they lead your constituency. That's how they lead their board. So how dare me, but one thing I can always question, I can say, why you laughing, or what made you do that, or why would you vote that way, or what are you thinking? I could call for a point of information just to clarify, because the biggest power that I have as a legislator is to do just that. I'm a checks and balances system. I'm so happy, shout out to Ms. Pickett today, our treasurer, for going above and saying, listen, hold on, point of order, we're gonna go ahead and add a discussion item. I appreciate that. Know that you all deserve that. Home rule, 19,000, everything going on. I see all the good in Harvey. I don't care what they say about the city of Harvey. I see the greatness of it, and I see the greatness in you all. And know that when you come here, that your voices are heard. I can't do everything, but being empowered by each of you, I can do all things. And remember, we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. He's the head of this table. Don't you ever forget that. First and foremost, what we gotta do, you got to come in, you got to say the Pledge of Allegiance, and right after that, you're gonna bow your heads and thank the Lord for being here on today. So I assure you, City of Harvey, stand with me, be with us, as we continue to, and for all of us, 1 through 6, but shout out to 4th Alderman Tracy Key for sure, because that's the one that's gonna give me the second on the motion when I'm trying to get something in motion.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So I appreciate it. And I also want to leave you all with this. I want to thank the Harvey Police Department. Because similarly, you know, when people see actions, they think they too can muster up some type of courage or energy to attack. And can you all believe that on the brink, on the precipice of Monday, January 8th, that on Wednesday, January 10th at approximately 6:57 p.m., my family received a death threat?
Yep.
Can y'all believe that? And I want to thank Harvey Police Department. Thank you, Chief Bivens, right? For having somebody sit outside of my home to, you know, ensure that we're safe. But that shouldn't be what happens based on an action. But people get something emboldened in them. I'm gonna tell you, this isn't the family. Understand that. We stand committed. I stand committed. We will continue to do our jobs. And the very last thing, I said it earlier, 708-320-9214. I appreciate you all. I'm aware about the body that was at Ascension. And just a couple of days ago on Thursday, December the 18th, I know about the squatters that broke in, and thank you to the Second Ward residents for reaching out. I did shout out to the police department. I saw you all along with the Department of Streets and Sand, I believe, was out there. But they were safeguarded, making certain that the rectory and the school was locked down. But now I know I said a whole lot tonight. There's just a whole lot that we're digesting. But I just assure you all, I'm gonna continue to serve as your Second Ward Alderwoman and ensure that I'm gonna lead the way, okay? I appreciate you all.
All right.
Chair recognizes the 6th Ward.
Man, how do you follow that? Jeez. First of all, I'd like to say good evening to everybody. And I'd like to say special thanks to all my colleagues and Alderwoman Chapman. I greatly appreciate your passion, your words of intelligence, and what you bring to the City Council, along with the rest of the City Council. I'm going to be very brief. There is, due to the inclement weather that we've suffered from, and I do mean we've all suffered from, the extreme substandard, below zero days, and then we get ice and snow on top of it. I think this is the first day since January the 3rd or something that we have been above freezing. I just wanted to send out to all of the residents that live in the 6th Ward. I do have people that's doing snow removal. If you need to have your sidewalk dry please don't hesitate to call me. Alderman Tyrone Rogers out of grade 6. My phone number is area code 708-516-2276. There are lots of things that we could do better here in the city, but I think we've made enormous strides here in the city under this administration in the past 5 years. I see a vast improvement. And you'd be lying to yourself if you say you hadn't seen it, because I've seen it. Okay, the ward, the city, we're safer. There's crime going on everywhere. There were four murders in Tenney Park. There were 3 in Joliet today. Okay, so the crime rate this is the society that we live in. I thank God for Harvey Fire Department, Harvey Police Department. We're gonna do everything to take care of the pensions there, to make sure that they're continuing to get paid and get adequate raises to make them comparable with other communities and other municipalities. Yeah, there are some things that we could do a lot better, but you gotta keep in mind, there's been a long time coming for the city of Harvey to get into this situation. Most of you people aren't even 51 years old. I've lived in my house on Harvey Avenue for 51 years. I moved in when I was 19 years old, so this is truly Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. I know everything, I know every resident, I know everything. And the people that know me know I have a passion when it comes down to making our community better. I don't cross lanes. I don't get over into the police department business. I don't get into the mayor's administration business. I take care of the business of the people that elected me. And anybody in the 6th Ward that knows me knows that. I'm gonna repeat my phone number one more time. Area code 708-516-2276. If you need snow removal, please don't hesitate to call me. If you live in the 6th Ward, I can't do the whole city, but I can take care of the 6th Ward. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Chair recognizes the 3rd Ward.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good to see everyone here. Anyone that may know me, some of you may know me, a lot of those that do know me, that know me, I'm always smiling. They really always smile. I have a lot to smile about. That has nothing to do with your situation, or what's going on with the city. I'm not thinking about any of that. I'm a social worker. I'm very empathetic. I smile because I'm grateful. Grateful to God. This morning, I was running a little late. I was watching a little bit of shows, but that's something the mayor said to watch. And I've been enjoying it. That's the last season where Peter was walking on the water and he fell down in the water. And Peter was holding on him, telling Jesus, don't let me go. That's something that I pray. And I thank God every morning I wake up because I didn't have to wake up. I'm not a person, I'm kind of like a laid back person. I'm not a show phone, because I feel like whatever I do, God wants to see and know what I do. My rewards come from Him. I'm not going to do anything whereas I want to be noticed for it. Because I know whatever I do, God knows what I do. Anybody that knows me know how I am genuine about what I do. Okay? I'm a hell raiser too. I do that too when I feel like you're stuck or being disrespectful. So to know me is to know who I am rather than judge me. Because guess what? We all sit here too, and we look at what you all and y'all say be disrespectful, but we don't deal back and don't hold it against you. Because if you still need help, Chappelle, I'll help you. I wouldn't hold it against you. Same thing with you, Urban. Me and you have been friends for a long time. But I'm just saying, we've been friends for a long time. Even when your mother was ill, I still would help you.
Let's talk about the 10 city stickers that you have to pay for the last 10 years.
Again, as I was saying, when I vote yes,
no city
this is what I'm gonna vote on. Yes, this ordinance here for the city taxes, we say, why would we close down a business? If you look up every one of those businesses on Dixie Highway, the millions of dollars that they owe, they didn't just start paying in 2021, 2022. They've been paying since 2010. And if you add all of that up, and you just take what part of it belongs to the city, you will see why we can tear down houses. You will understand why we can't fix streets. You will understand all of that. But if you don't pull up that transparency, that's what we first should start looking at. We want transparency. Let's start looking at what's owed to us right now.
That's why you get.
Guess what? Even if that treasurer never gave me anything, Ryan, a real estate agent, real estate is public knowledge. I was able to look it up. I was able to look up who owed us and how much they owed us. I was able to look that up. And guess what? If I have somebody renting in my place and they ain't paying me, I was glad I didn't get real estate this last time, because COVID wasn't nobody paying rent. So why should people stay in anywhere and pay rent? Matter of fact, the attorney called me for the pallets right there for one of the properties. He said it's so unfair. We've been paying them rent and they haven't been paying. Now we gotta move because they ain't been paying and they finna take the bill for taxes. Well, you know what? If you go buy a piece of property and somebody own it, because that's what they do around here too. Oh, here, let me see this property. And then you buy it and then you find out it's owned to somebody else. You know what the judge gonna say? Did you check and see who owned it before you went about that property? That's what they gonna say. You know, if you done been in real estate school, you wouldn't know that. We saying the city owns so many properties. Look them up. It's public knowledge. Type in the address, go to the system. Next time I come and bring my stack, because I did it for my whole board. I looked up every one of them and see who all owe us. They're just regular residents. But what these owners owe us is a lot. And you know what? I wish the city, transparency-wise, this is what I want them to do. Put them all out there on blast. Start looking and showing where their houses at, where they living in Orland, where they living in Tinley. They putting their kids in private schools. They riding the big things, you know, while we standing here breaking up our cars, riding through potholes and riding through and seeing all these ugly houses. Oh, it costs money too to get a lawyer to even get access to those houses. Because if you come and take my house, I would hope my kids is gonna come and say, hey, that's our house, that's all to us.
Let's blast some people.
So, like I say again, these business owners, I think one of them sitting here, keep time with a few of them sitting here. Because they figure they're gonna be able to do a favor for them, but they owe us money. But they owe us money. A lot of money, millions of dollars. So if you take a million, like I say, we got a real estate person in the audience, look them all up, add all the money, and then I think the mayor said 52%. Take 52% of that and see what it is and what it adds up to. And this is not just something that happened in 2 years. This all happened under the last administration. They have been paying since the last administration. So for me, I voted yes, because guess what? Out of all of them, yours was Dollar General. That was your problem. That was in your ward. All the rest of them was mine. It was 16 parcels, was it? Was 16?
19.
Thank you, it was 19, my bad. 16 of them was mine. So yeah, 16 of you all that owe us money, give us our money. Give us our money. I don't care where you move to. Give us our money. Because guess what? Why should you continue to make money and we don't have money? Why should you continue to make money when we don't have money? What's that do that matter? Would you want somebody to stay in your place and not pay you any money? Would you like to go into business, ready out to make money, and nobody pays you? You wouldn't want that. You would want them to get out.
There's so many other businesses going down here.
Well, I don't know about nobody. I'm in my place. I'm in my house. I'm in my place.
So they money ain't.
Order.
Let's please keep order, please. Please do not speak out from the audience like that.
I'm gonna say for what this was a big position for me. I'm happy to have it. I thank the people who voted for me for it, because they know I understand I have integrity. That's something I do have. And anybody that knows me, know I have integrity. I'm gonna do what's right, and I'm gonna do the right thing, no matter what it is. I'm not gonna put it against nobody. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And no matter what I feel about it. Look, let's talk about Eric Kellogg. There's some things that happen up here disrespectful when nobody do that to Eric. A lot of things that's been disrespectfully done, they didn't do it to Eric. They didn't do it to Eric. Eric didn't play it. That's something I say about Mr. Kellogg. And you know something else I used to say about Mr. Kellogg? I thought he was a very intelligent man. I've heard people cut me down to say that. I've heard people cut me down to say that. And you know why I said that? he was able to do a lot of things that everybody followed behind and would follow through with all the stuff. That he would. There are some things we should not be doing for the whole world to see. It's embarrassing. It is embarrassing that we as black people cannot work together because we got some issues with somebody sitting at these tables. We ain't gonna move forward if we keep on fighting. And my only thing was, if we're getting all on news about things, let's get on news and show where these people are, what's money. That's what I want, because that should be a national thing there, where these businesses, big corporate businesses have milked this community the way they have. So like I said, you ain't gotta listen to me, it's public knowledge, look them all up, see how much they owe us. The mayor mentioned that was 2007, all the way on back to 2007, we have not gotten paid.
2003.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, but I mean, a decade, it's been a decade. It's been a decade. Yeah, 2 decades, yeah, it's 2 decades, 2 decades. So add that up, that's what I wanna know, where is that at? And like I said, I never got a report from the treasurer. I got my printout, I had my printout that day when I came to the meeting, showing y'all what they owed us. I had that thing on paper, what they owed us then for the 2 years. Did everybody want to question, well, they said they paid, or what we gonna do with it when it's so forth, but see, we vote against it, and that means, because guess what, should no business get any license? Move somewhere else, move to another business that is paying their taxes, you can relocate, you can relocate. So again, let's fight for some things that can really help our city, that would be great. Have a great evening, guys.
Thank you. Chair recognizes the 5th Ward.
Thank you. I'm gonna start off by saying, in the future, we're gonna have to put time limit on these teachers, sermons. You know, in the future, this is too long. Some of y'all took notes and wrote it out like you really thought about it. Listen, I did make the last meeting. Was truly surprised and definitely really disappointed. I was gonna just have this conversation amongst us, like I was gonna call some of my, my counterparts and just have this conversation. But then some said, you know what, just say it because a lot of things, sometimes the people hear it and they don't know. And I don't necessarily expect them to know, but I expect us to know because we took the seat. And so it is your job to be educated on your job. Now you can do that 1 or 2 ways. I get it, everybody said they went to this class, they did this, they read that book, they did all these things, I get it. But we gotta learn, this is the legislative body. We learned this in 2019, what it looks like when we work together. Right? When we work together. That's the executive branch. We work together. I could have told my brother that we passed the rules governing conduct in council. You voted for it. So then you would have to walk into the middle of the meeting and ask him that. I already voted on it. All the rules, all the consequences. What happens if you do this, if you don't do that? It's all there. That's probably why he won't answer you. I just say, hey, wait a minute, you want to, this is how you go about getting that update. Let me say this, contrary to popular belief, this is not an uneducated council. How many years you got?
13.
How many in government period? How many you got?
Government.
24.
28.
28, 24? I've been here since 2019? You mean to tell me the answer wasn't here amongst us? It was. A lot of answers are right here, and we discovered that in 2019. Took the first 2 years of straight sandpaper, welding and fighting with the mayor to realize it was all right here. We ain't really gotta talk to him like that. Really don't. The answer's right here. We can come together and do our job and let him do his. When the problem comes, is if he try to do our job and we try to do his job. There's one mayor to 6 other persons representing the city. I promise you, when we in our lane, I'll fight for you too and them. Love you, brother. I didn't vote for it today because it was out of order. It's the only reason. The request was out of order. Period. If it was in order, then yes all day. I'd have echoed that to the ceiling. But I want to say this because I don't want to deliver the sermon. I'm just going to say this. Thank you, Treasurer, for saying what you said. I think a little bit more clarity so they understand that when y'all know you own it, it's like some of it's my fault. And I appreciate that. But a little bit more clarity on what was your fault would be good. But I know this is a great woman. She definitely wants to do the job. I have no doubt about that. But again, just like there's some things that's going to be on my shoulders on the way I conduct my time in office. We all, and I appreciate, Ms. Chapman saying that, Alderman Chapman saying that. Everybody's going to run their thing their way. But if you're going to do that, then you own it. And that's what she did, okay? Lastly, no matter what, please understand that this is a business meeting. Oh man, let me tell you, I get upset too. But one thing that I know from the residents in the field, they said, all you gotta do is your job. Don't worry about nothing else. We see it. We just don't want to see none of that stuff that was happening previously coming out of this office. I want all of that to sit there and conduct itself with a professional manner. All that name calling, everything else they was doing previously. She said, I don't want it. This is what my seniors told me. So yeah, some days I'm upset. And I sit right here, and then I may get on the phone, hey man, let me tell you something, man. The next time I'm asking a question, we can do that, yeah. Before I let the world see, with the businesses that's lying, because let me tell you that again. The businesses that are going to come and see this around the corner. I really don't care about nobody leaving. Go. Okay? We're going to get the right businesses in here. They're around the corner, so I ain't worried about that. But what we don't want to show them is that they're joining a dysfunctional family. We always, at all times, must conduct ourselves as professionals. My father always told me, you can talk to me about anything, you can say anything, but you better do so respectfully. And we all owe each other a greater respect. If you can't respect me, respect the office. And if you don't like their clock, fine, but respect the office. And conduct yourself in a professional manner. Speak your mind, but do so like you do have a college degree. Like you are educated. Like somebody did raise you with some manners. That's what's important. Thank you all.
Respect to that alderman. I will always make contact with that alderman. But I will tell that resident, if that alderman does not reach you back within 48 hours, please feel free to call me and I will get you back. Because my name is the First Ward. Now the First Ward residents know that I too speak my mind. And I speak my truth. And I hope my truth is the truth. But I'm going to take people down to Cook County when we had the Cook County sheriffs here. We had the Cook County sheriffs here because I, Shirley Drewinski, was threatened. I was sitting in this seat along with Alderman Whittington in that seat. And there was probably about 75 protesters out there at the time. And one guy lifted up his shirt and showed me his gun. And I said, wow. Alderman Whittington said, it is time to go. He said, the only thing between you and that is that glass. And am I wrong, Alderman Whittington? He said, we have to go. So I contacted the mayor's office, and I did not get an answer. So I, Charlie Drew wrote a letter to the Cook County Sheriff County. I was the one that got the officers here. They asked me, did I need a ride back and forth? And I said, no. I felt concerned while I was sitting in this seat, because the only thing that was blocking me and that gun was that glass. So I brought them in, and they stayed here along with us. Okay, community support. I think that is wonderful that you're standing by your beliefs, and please continue to do so. When you get up there and you comment, and you ask us, we are not responding not out of ignorance, but out of respect. Because this meeting is a legislative meeting. This meeting is followed by the Roberts Rules of Order. So when there are questions to me, as outlined today and pointed out in my colleague's speech, when I asked the alderman and I did not get a response, I did not respond while that individual was talking, did I? No, I let the person proceed. He didn't respond because that wasn't the rules of Robert's Rules of Order. When we're sitting here and somebody's talking and there's a side conversation, if it's a quick yes or no, then that's one thing. But when it's a dialogue, it's pretty darn rude to have a conversation while somebody else is holding the floor. No different right now if conversations will be said and the mayor or the attorney or somebody else is having their sidebar. We all know that for hearing for the people in the back, it gets a little difficult to hear. So out of respect, I will keep my mouth shut. When we vote to support our city, like, who has a street here without a pothole? None of us. Look around the room, please. There's none of us. We all have potholes. Do we want our streets fixed? Yes. Do we want better schools, better park districts, better resources for our community? Yes. How are we going to get it? Is there a person in this room that does not pay their property taxes? How many people here pay their property taxes? Wow, a lot of us. Is it fair to you that Dollar General or ABC store or that smoke shop, that landlord doesn't pay their property taxes? Is it fair to you that they should still be in business? Yeah, I didn't think so. Because it's not fair to me. Because if I didn't pay my house, let me tell you, somebody will be looking at my house and wanting to take it from me. But they wouldn't want to take my shabby building with the ABC who's paying rent. And the owner's not paying the property taxes to fix those streets, to fix your streets, to get those lights, to get those stop signs. How many people here can read their street sign? My God, it was past Nikki Graves since we had new street signs. That was the last time the city of Harvey had any discretionary funds. Or was it? That's the key. Right now, we know we're at how much? 163, 143?
64.
164.
We inherited 164.
Now, we're not talking 164,000, are we? No. But yet, when a bill comes up, and it's on here, oh my God, how can you vote for that? What about that little ABC store where I get my cigarettes? I'm just saying. Every vote I make here, every decision I make here, you have a question of why I voted for it, why I didn't vote for it. Yes, I will admit I have been voting in occurrence with this, because every single time this agenda comes out, and Miss Davis, do you not receive a phone call from me? Every time. Every time, and every time put it in my control. And I do. And every time it's like, you know what? I don't like the wording on this. I'm not feeling comfortable about it. Okay, well, let me see if we can talk to others and blah, blah, blah. Or, hey, I think this is right, I'm going with it. But there is dialogue, and it's not because the First Ward Shirley Drolinsky is so damn special. It's not. It's because I'm communicating prior. Oh, did I always? No. No. There was time I wanted to sit here, and I can tell you, and I'm seeing a colleague of mine sitting across that room, smiling like, wow. And you can even ask this comptroller, every time he brought a treasury report, I searched for days, and I guarantee you I found a mistake. Did I not? Every time. And did I tell him? Oh, hell no, excuse the language. I waited until he got up here. And Alderman Price, is that right? Yeah, no, I did do that, and I questioned it. And I learned that was not the way to do it. That was not the way to do it. I got more answers, and I felt better about myself, because I was angry my first term. I was angry that I was getting showboated up on those screens, be calling my family the KKK. Who was in the meeting when they heard the KKK was my family? Oh, I know I was, and I see a few people in this room. And let me tell you, that KKK, I'm the second generation here in America. I lived in Harvey my whole life. I have nothing to do with the KKK. Nothing. I would run too. I would run. You know, I mean, this is crazy. But I sat up there and I took it. I got kicked out. I got threatened to be arrested. Chief East was the chief. When I got my little letter in the mail, I called my attorney up. I said, come and get me. And he says, what are you doing? I said, I just called the chief. I told him, don't you ever, effing, and I said the word, threaten me, you better come and get me now. Don't send me a letter that you're gonna threaten me the way how I acted in city council. You come and get me. And my attorney says, would you stop hitting the ordinance? Stop it already. I still got that letter, ladies and gentlemen. I still got it. I didn't put it on Facebook. I didn't put half of the stuff, probably because I just didn't. This is not how we want to conduct ourselves.
Right.
We want businesses. We want people working together. I see the passion, and please don't stop. But be realistic. Be realistic in what we're saying. The fight for the person's home. I'm not going to mention names. Yes, that was very hard. That's realistic. They're very passionate, and they have a right to be so. The people that are supporting them have a right to be very passionate. But if you want to know why I voted the way I did, please call me. Because we'll be here forever. And like the Fifth Ward, we're legislators. But if you do want to call me, my number is 708-596-7470. You look at the website, my number's there. I try to get back to everyone in 48 hours. Those of you who know me, I retired from my full-time job. I am my sister and my brother's caretaker right now. It's a whole new role for me. And whoever caretakers out there, God bless you. God bless you, because it is a lot of work. And so a lot of times I may not get back in 24 hours, but I really try, but no later than 48 hours. But every person who calls me is important. It really is, because I too am hurting. I may not be black, I may not be Spanish, but I am Harvey. I am proud of being Polish. We talk about history. This is the first time, the second war since 1891. I am the first Polish female. The first. Rosa is the first city clerk.
Come on, she wrote,
You know, I mean, we're all here, we're first. And the only reason why we're the first is because of you. But you look in the back of the wall over there, it was a male-dominating world. That's why we are the first. And I thank you for that. Oh, sidebar. Okay, God bless you.
My number's on the website too.
Oh, you missed your beat. Go straight and embarrass the board.
Please say it.
No. You just there.
I answered the same thing.
You just embarrassed this
Chair recognizes our corporate counsel.
I just wanted to respond for today and hopefully unite everybody again here. First of all, Alderman Chapman, we did have a phone call set up for 4:30 on Friday, you didn't call me.
but I can get it.
Yeah, you emailed me afterwards, asking me to respond before the meeting. We did send you your response before the meeting, I also tried to call you tonight.
Oh, I can get it. No problem. And I actually emailed you, early, today, that we have this full break. But I wanted to be down that part of my restoration. I sent the email on Tuesday, January 16th, to the union attorney at 6:49. I got that reply, and I wasn't talking. And then I followed up with the email on Friday, approximately 4:47. Sorry, I didn't get a chance to call you, so you can reply back. And then you all reply, right before the meeting at 6:21.
Right, but I did have a conference call set up with you at 4:30 on Friday to talk about your concerns with you. You sent me a response at 7:15, you couldn't make the meeting that had occurred earlier. So I didn't want
The
to.
previous email, they had already went out to you, that was a follow-up phone call, because I didn't hear. But I just wanted to.
Yes, and I understand it. This is why we don't want to do this, because it ends up. Yeah, no, I understand. I really, truly understand. But I'm just saying, this is the exact reason why we don't want to do this. It's because, see, there's this belief that when someone says something, that it must be true, first of all. And it's not necessarily true. So if she says whatever she says, you don't respond, then it gives the presumption that it's true. And you don't want that. You don't want that, so you want to try to correct the record. But if we were to do that with everything that everybody said, over every comment that was made, we would be in here for the next 4 hours. We would, no, that's yours. That's yours. So, thank you. And that's what we're trying to stop that. So,
Yeah, so I just wanted to leave the impression out there that you sent us an email, they didn't respond at all until right before the meeting, because I did have a call set up with you to talk about it, and they occurred, right? But I do want to talk about one other thing about the meeting, because I know people are very upset about Alderman being asked to leave the meeting, which is a very unusual thing. And you're right, I mean, there are very, very important principles at play here regarding the First Amendment and free speech and advocating for your wards and representing them, but that's not what was happening at that meeting. The mayor did ask for comments from all the aldermen, and if you want to remember, he did not shut down any of the aldermen for comments at the time they were addressed to talk. There was a time limit that was enforced for everybody, but he did not say, okay, everybody can talk except the second word and the fourth word. That's not what happened. When he was in the middle of speaking, people started interrupting him. And with Alderman Chapman, she stood up, or she sat down and she started making comments. He called her out of order 5 times. She didn't stop talking, and she banged her head on the counter, or her hands on the table. And then at one point, Alderman Keith stood up, and thank you, for maybe acknowledging that there was a different way to handle it, but he stood up and the mayor asked him to sit down, and he didn't sit down. And there are 4 different laws that are applicable here that support the mayor's actions, and I will give you it in writing, and it is in writing of what we gave to you. But first of all, the Illinois Municipal Code says the mayor is the person who presides over meetings. He has to keep order. We don't want to be a free-for-all here, for all the reasons that the alderman for the 5th Ward said. We're trying to build up Harvey and unite, right? But in addition, there were 2 court cases where people that were thrown out of council meetings, and then they sued. And one of them was Acosta versus the city of Costa Mesa, and the court said, no, there's people who are disrupting meetings, the executive who's running has the ability to keep them out. And that was also what the court held in Steinberg versus Chesterfield County Planning Commission. Now, we also had a case called Sampson versus Graves, which involved the city of Harvey. It wasn't involving public comment, but it held, in Harvey, we have a strong mayor form of government. So you're right, there is a division between the legislative branch and the executive branch, but they all play an important role. And then finally, we do follow Robert's Rules of Order, and Rule 61:20 says that people can be removed when they're disruptive. Now, I know that what everybody on this council shares is their passion for Harvey, and I don't think we're going to have another situation where anyone has to be removed. Because I know that the heart of this council is to do what's right here and move forward. And Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, we must live together as brothers or die together as fools, right? And I think that living together as brothers is what everybody wants to do here. So anyway, those are my comments. Thank you.
Well said.
Finally, as Alderman Randall puts up a 5 sign, because he doesn't want me to take too long, and I promise you I'm not. This is all I want to say. It's what I would like to see. I'm happy that people are able to speak up and say the things that they want to say. As unkind as some of those things may be, I am extremely happy that people have the freedom of speech to be able to do so. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention that some of the reasons that those people have the ability to do so is because of the people who are sitting in these chairs right now. Because there was a time when you couldn't speak your mind in the city of Harvey for fear of whatever. When someone reminded me back in 2015, I remember when I first spoke out against the mayor at that particular point in time, I could hear a pin drop. People were coming up to me talking about, you better check underneath your car before you start your engine. That's what was going on in this city. And a lot of people who I believe should have said something at that time Didn't. But I understand why. Because there was extreme fear in this city for a lot of people. Like I said earlier, we're family. We know what our family has done. We know what our family was doing. Some people act like they have amnesia. They're like, it never happened. It was happening. But that was then. That is just now. And I'm about to wrap up all. That was then, this is now. So, I'm just going to ask. First of all, I'm going to try to, I know myself, and I said this last time, and I'm going to continue to try to be better. I say it all the time. Didn't promise you perfection, I promise you progress. Which means that I myself have to try to be better each and every day. And as long as we're doing that, I think that we're okay. The city of Harvey is improving beyond belief. And as one of y'all persons said, you know, yeah, there are businesses right around the corner that want to come in and do business. Some of them want to come in and do business in this city, and they're asking us for land. But we don't have the land because we allow people who have the land to not pay their taxes and to continue to make money off of this city. Maybe I should be Jesse Jackson or Farrakhan or something like that. Because if I were to talk about people coming, especially non-black people coming to a primarily black city and pimping the people and exploiting the people, then there probably would be some type of outcry that people would have something to say about it. But I'm not Jesse and I'm not Farrakhan, so I'm just a little oppressed. But what I'd like to see is I'd like to see us conduct ourselves, myself included, in a way that we don't scare the businesses that want to come do business in Harvey away. That's what I'd like to see. We do. I see as much as we have improved, every day I'm reminded we have so much more still to learn. We have so much more to learn about each other. But regardless of whether I'm in the seat or not, and for those who do know me, y'all know how I feel about that. Y'all like me or don't like me. Once again, life goes on. Okay? Y'all will see some pictures of my grandbaby. Come on up here after this is over, and I'll show you where my focus is. Okay, and people who love me. But fortunately, I've never been one that allowed you or anybody else to threaten me not to elect me. I've never been one to allow you or anybody else to threaten me that you won't give me my vote. You won't give me your vote. The only thing that I had wanted to do was to serve you. And I'm going to continue to try to do so. But lastly, I'm going to keep talking about God. So I don't care what you say. I don't care what you think. Because first of all, there's two sides of me. There's the God-like side, and there's the non-God-like side. And I praise God because I'm glad He's in my life to keep that other side under control. Because if it weren't for Him, I don't know what type of person I'd be. If it wasn't for Him, I really don't know exactly what I would say. And I don't know what I would do. And I say that as a sinner. And some folks don't post it on Facebook and try to flip it. But the bottom line is, that's right, I'm a sinner. I've been trying to get y'all to understand the same thing for I don't know how long, and I'm going to keep doing it.
We all right.
Okay? And so at the end of the day, when I can't get anything else right, when I can't get a business here, when I can't get an ordinance passed, when I can't get something done that I would like to have done, or maybe if I show my behind a way that I shouldn't do it, then this is what happens with sinners. The one thing I have with this platform is an opportunity to spread God's word. It's an opportunity to tell people the good news. You can sue me. You can do whatever you want to do to me. But at the end of the day, that's what I'm going to do. Because I have learned some things. And I've learned that when I try to do it by myself, I always fail. But when I lean on God, He will fight me. He will fight my battles. So I'm not going to stop talking about it. I'm not going to let some of these people separate me from the God which I serve. And you're more than welcome to talk about yours, if you got a different one. If there is a different one. But at the end of the day, or call me something else. But at the end of the day, if I can't get nothing else right, I can get that right. Maybe somewhere along the line, maybe there's something I'm going to say. Maybe somewhere along the line, maybe there's someone who I'm going to help. Because God has touched my spirit that is going to turn them to Him. In the words of probably the biggest vote getter in the city of Harvey ever in elections that we can recall. Who is it? Oh. She was on the park list. No. Barbara.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. That's all. So, on that note, the children's team, we are here much longer than we should be. But I hope everybody, and I just want you to know, this happened, and some people wonder, why people get to talk so long? I hope we got all out of our system. Please, let us get out of our system. The next time we come back, let us operate the way, and we'll put time limits on it too if necessary. But you know what? Every now and then, family got to have its moment. Every now and then, in your own family, you got to have its moment. Y'all slug it out. Y'all do all y'all gotta do. Y'all say all y'all got to say. Y'all not gonna talk to each other for a couple of weeks. Some of y'all not gonna show up for family dinners and all the rest of that stuff. But at the end of the day, you come back together because you know who you are. And on that note, before I ask for a motion to adjourn, don't let nobody who's not Harvey divide Harvey.
Okay?
Don't let nobody who's not Harvey divide Harvey. I didn't see my brother back there. I'm sorry, Alderman, I gotta call you out this for a minute. Alderman Price back there. But that's fine. But first of all, give him a welcome because I'm glad to see you here. We don't have to agree. We ain't gotta get along. But that brother's Harvey. Don't let anybody who's not Harvey divide you from Harvey. A lot of people want to see us divided. That's not Harvey. Okay? A lot of folks do. They don't want to see us come up because when we come up, they don't look as good. They put in the newspaper the other day that Harvey had the biggest homicide rate in Cook County. That's what they did. Okay? But what they didn't tell you was that Harvey's rate went down another 14%, while the other communities' rate went up. They didn't tell you that. Because they want to keep Harvey from Harvey. They want you to think that you are not as good and that you don't deserve. That we are not as good and we don't deserve. So just let that rest, and I pray that we'll all do better next go around. We won't do perfection, but at least maybe we'll have some progress. So on that note, the chair will recognize a motion to adjourn. Motion by the fifth, second by the sixth. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, hearing none. The council is adjourned at 9:03.